George Mavros.
Thank you. This isn't about me, it's about you. So I'm going to try and run through some gear this morning, and hopefully at the end of it you'll have an idea of what I do. If you want to know a bit more about me, ask the people in the room that have already used me. Thank you, Colin. Whoops.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah. Try that again. Try that one. So, Richard Branson once said, never take your eyes off the cash flow because it's the lifeblood of business. George Mavros says, if cash flow is the lifeblood of your business, sales is the oxygen. Interesting from the internet, it can take 10 to 15 minutes to bleed out from a major artery.
Oh, no.
No oxygen, you can be dead in about 3. So, sales being the oxygen, if the sales stop, you don't have people owing you money. If you don't have people owing you money, you don't have cash flow. If you don't have cash flow, Bruce can't pay the bills and sort things out for you. You can afford to bleed a little bit, but if you stop breathing, it's all over. Think about it. So now I want to talk about mindset. The hands can only create what the mind can see. That guy up there took us to the moon because he saw it. That guy in the middle said, I'm going to play for Australia. He's the oldest player in our team. He's one of the shortest players in our team. He scores more heading goals against tall fullbacks in our team because he can see what they don't see. Naomi, they're not even her products. They're not even her ideas half the time. But she sees something better than the person that had the original idea and creates something. But we don't have to go too far. Down in our own chapter, Susie Farquhar, if she hadn't seen Carla Property be what it is, it wouldn't be there. Peter, an ex-copper, gets a horrific injury. A lot of people would just give it away. But he saw something else. He saw a business opportunity and he created it. Jo, my adopted business daughter, she sees a hyperbaric chamber. Half the people don't even know what that is. She sees it in Australia and she sees it at Manly. Now, it took us a little while, Jo, to get there, but it's there. It couldn't happen unless you see it. If you don't see it, you will not make it happen. Fortunately for every one of you, I cannot see myself being an expert at surgery, so you're all safe. If you have the courage to fail, you automatically gain the right to succeed. The lady up the top there, Taria Pitt, says she's the luckiest person in the world. No, she's not. They told her she was going to die. She didn't. She said, I'm going to try and get over this. They told her she wasn't going to walk. She didn't believe them. She walked. And she continued on. She had the courage to fail and she has succeeded. The guy over there, Julian, is a guy that I've just joined up with at Borderline Challenge. When you hear about what he's got in mind for his fundraising ideas, it is crazy. It's an international concept. Again, from our own chapter, Kelvin. Half the people in the world don't even know what a drone is. And Kelvin says, that's all right, I'll stop doing what I'm doing in a safer job and I'll create a drone business. And then I'll educate them and then get business. Mary was working at a major practice and decided, I'll take the punt, I'll go out on my own, and away you go. And Shane was in a bad relationship in business, but it was there and it was established. He had the courage to fail by shutting that business off and starting again. We all have seen what's happening with Shane in recent times. There's many, many other stories in this chapter. You all have courage. Go for it. Now I want to do a bit about numbers. Strike rate. You have to know your numbers and you need to try and improve. Imagine out of 100 leads, you got 30 appointments. So you got a 30% strike rate. Out of 30 appointments, you get 9 clients. And let's say you're selling at $100. You've got $900 in sales. What would happen if you just had a 10% improvement? You'd end up with 33 appointments, 11 clients. 11 clients at $100 is 22%. But if you could then increase your average sell by 10%, you've just increased the business 34%. And Bruce could do a lot with that extra revenue. You've got to know your numbers. How do you do that? Well, I've got a couple of things that I teach. One's called 10 to 7. A number of you in the room know about that. Basically, you need 10 answers for every 7 questions. If you can turn up to a client and every time they ask you a question, you've got an answer and a few more, that will increase your strike rate because it gives them confidence and, more importantly, you know about them. The other one that I've got is a qualifying and strategic decision-making tool, and that's called Mavros. Funny about that. What have you got at the moment? What's annoying about it? What's valuable about it? What's more important, the value or the annoy? Other considerations, and then the strategy. So if you're trying to build a territory, what are the customers I've got at the moment? What's the good customers? What's the bad customers? What's more important for me at the moment? Where's my cash flow coming from? What sort of business do I want it to be? Don't know how that happened. Other considerations, and then away you go. But equally, if you're selling to a client, so who's your current business coach? What's the things that you value in your current business coach? What's the things that you don't like about your current business coach? What's more important to you in what you get from a business coach? So I use that to qualify, and I also use it to make strategic decisions. So today is the day after the 50th anniversary of this guy, who is one of my inspirations. This bloke gave us, I have a dream. Without dreams, you don't get reality. All of these people had some extraordinary big dreams at the beginning, and then the reality follows. So what I'd like to leave you with is never stop dreaming today. It's where tomorrow's reality comes from. May each and every one of you have extraordinarily large dreams and successes that are far greater. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. We've got some time for some questions, so can I ask the room to put up your hand and I'll deliver the microphone to you.
Any questions on computer?